Hi guys, welcome to FightForYouCoaching.com. It's Tammy, and tonight in my kitchen I want to talk to you guys a little bit about this and that and some healthy alternatives for the things that we use in our kitchen. As we're starting this health journey, it can be really hard and overwhelming to figure out what things to switch out that is better for you with all the choices that are out there. So I'm just going to kind of go down. It's kind of like a list thing that I have for you. And when I write my written blog later, I'll have a list and some charts for you guys that you can use to reference back to for your alternatives for this and that. I'm going to start with sugar. Sugar is our number one menace in the kitchen. It's not very good for us, but there's so many healthy alternatives. One of those healthy alternatives is honey, pure honey. And another one is pure maple sugar. And the measurement alternatives for those two is really easy. If you use a cup of sugar, substitute with 3/4 a cup of honey or pure maple sugar. Keeps going down. 1 tablespoon, 3/4 of a tablespoon. 1 teaspoon, 3/4 of a teaspoon. I use a lot of honey and pure maple sugar simply because it's easy measurements for me and I don't have to do a whole lot of converting. Another one that I use a lot of as an alternative in the kitchen is Stevia. It's the one that I found is the sugar alternative that's the best for you out there, or in my opinion is the best for you. And its conversions are a little bit different. It doesn't nearly take as much as regular sugar as it does for Stevia. And I also have that listed on my chart in my written blog later. I also know that if you guys love to bake or cook or just want to be in the kitchen and you still want to make your favorites but you don't want to feel guilty about doing it, I have a list of alternatives that you can switch out to make your meals a little bit healthier. And like I said before, it's really a work in progress. You know, becoming a clean eater is something that I kind of eased into and made it a little bit easier on me and my family as well, because I have some picky eaters, and it's kind of like a trial and error. So, you know, don't do it all at once hoping that your family and everybody's going to join right in, because it can be kind of hard on you. So some of the things that I have changed out in my kitchen are, instead of using regular flour, sometimes I'll use whole wheat. I use a lot of almond flour, a lot of coconut flour, and you can also use some flaxseed meal in place of flour. Butter, you can use avocado or bananas. And you're going to find as I talk that avocados are a great source of healthy fat, and you can use them in a lot of things for an alternative versus what you're supposed to use. Instead of cream, use evaporated milk. It's a cheap substitute and it keeps in the cupboard for a long time. Chocolate chips, I use cocoa nibs, and I've showed you that on a previous blog that you guys can look back on. They're a little bit better for you. They kind of are a little bit better and taste like dark chocolate. But I really like them, and I think that, you know, everything's worth a try once. Instead of using canola oil, which is incredibly terrible for you, I use either olive oil, I use avocado oil, I use a ton of coconut oil. I use Greek yogurt as well, and you can also use pumpkin puree in place of oil. But be sure that you're really careful with the pumpkin, because its flavor can overpower whatever you're making and seep through, and then everything tastes like pumpkin. Instead of sour cream, I use a lot of Greek yogurt in its place. Just plain Greek yogurt. It's really good. I mean, in a healthy treat that I use with Greek yogurt, I take Greek yogurt with like a tablespoon of all natural peanut butter and a little bit of honey. It's really good. Just kind of a healthy snack. Breadcrumbs, you know, you use breadcrumbs to cook your chicken or, you know, things like that. Use rolled oats or crush up almonds and use that instead of breadcrumbs. Way healthier version, and you can still have your chicken strips as long as you use minimum oil and fry them in avocado oil or coconut oil versus canola oil. Pasta is a big one. Everybody loves their pasta, and that's probably one of the hardest things for you to get rid of out of your system, but there is so many alternatives. You can use whole wheat pasta, but that's still really high in carbs, processed carbs. I use a lot of spaghetti squash and a lot of zucchini, and the spaghetti squash is so easy to prepare, you guys. You simply poke holes in it, throw it in the microwave for about 10 minutes, take it out, let it cool, cut it in half, take the seeds out, and then just take a fork and bring it away from its side. And I use it in place of spaghetti all the time. Another thing that I use is zucchini, and I just grate it, put it with a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of Himalaya salt, sprinkle it, and cook it in a frying pan and put meat or whatever else I'm going to use it for. You can also take zucchini and slice it lengthwise and use it in lasagna as well. So, I mean, those are both really good alternatives for pasta. Another one is rice. You can use brown rice, the whole grain of it, but a really good alternative for rice is cauliflower, and you can buy it frozen and already cubed up, or you can get a fresh head of cauliflower and just pulse it in your food processor. I know that doesn't sound very good, but I'm telling you, I'm becoming a lover of cauliflower, especially when I can pulse it and make it smaller versus the big chunks that just seem overpowering. You can also use Kiwan, and I don't know if a lot of you have heard of that. Kiwan is okay. I personally, like I said, everything is a trial and error. I hate Kiwan. I think it tastes like I'm eating dirt out of my backyard. I think it's the most awfulest stuff in the world, but a lot of people like it. So my best advice to you is, again, try it, because you may end up liking it. Again, I hate it and think it tastes like dirt. I use cauliflower as well for mashed potatoes as an alternative, and I also use it as a pizza crust occasionally versus a regular pizza crust. And, I'm still learning at this, so it's still new to me. I do a lot of Pinterest recipes. So if you follow me on Pinterest, I have a ton pinned. Just go follow me either under my 21-day fix recipes or just under regular recipes too. And I have recipes on there that aren't so good for you either. Instead of a tortilla shell, if I prefer a tortilla shell, I'll use a corn tortilla because it's a little bit better for you. But I do a lot of lettuce leaves, and I replace my bread with like Roman lettuce leaves too, and I put all my sandwich fixings in those. Again, those processed carbs are not good on you. They cause us, especially as women, excessive bloating that we don't need. They affect our moods and everything. So I've just kind of slowly been eliminating those out of my system. And I have to tell you that I feel a lot better. My skin's looking better. So I'm just finding different alternatives for all the processed carbs as well. Mayo and Miracle Whip, we all love that. An avocado mayo is a really good choice, but I use a lot of mustard and, again, avocados. I'm telling you, avocados are great for everything. And they don't have a taste to them, but they're packed full of such good healthy fats. I use them in a lot of things versus mayo or Miracle Whip. Another thing, ice cream. Everybody loves ice cream, and it's so hard to find a healthy alternative for that. But sometimes if I'm really craving it, I'll mash up bananas and freeze them so that it's kind of a different alternative for me. I'm a little bit lactose intolerant, so I don't get a whole lot of dairy, but that works, and it does help with my cravings. Instead of using a regular hamburger bun, if you guys like portobello mushrooms, I just take out the middles of the portobello mushrooms and I just place them on the grill while I'm cooking my hamburgers, and then I just put my hamburgers in between my portobello mushroom and use that for a bun versus a regular bun. Not as neat and as handy as a regular bun, but it tastes better, for me anyway, to use that. Crackers. We all like our crackers and our miss them, and I think the number one thing that we miss with crackers, you guys, is the crunch. So replace them with apples or cucumbers. An American favorite, instead of eating crackers, zucchini, and you can take zucchini, you cut them up and make them into like little french fries. I use them instead of french fries. I sprinkle them with little pepper and Himalaya salt and Parmesan cheese and bake them in the oven, and they're perfect. Something else, instead of french fries, sweet potato fries. They're one of my favorites. I don't overindulge in them, but if I'm in a place that has them, I definitely enjoy those as well. I use a lot of, instead of cow's milk, I use a lot of coconut milk and cashew milk, especially when I'm baking, because you don't know the difference. Do I drink it? I'm going to tell you no. Unless I'm mixing it with something, it's not something that I swig back in my cup, but I do keep regular milk in the fridge for my kids. I don't make them drink that as well. In place of regular table salt, I use Himalaya salt a lot. It's a lot better for you. Check that out. You guys, this is just a few of my favorites and some of the changes that I've made in my kitchen to make it a little bit healthier for me and my family. I'm not perfect. I do indulge. My son graduated this weekend, and by all means, I had a little bit of cake to enjoy his graduation. It's just not something that I overdo all the time. Yeah, life is short, but And people say life is short, I'm going to eat what I want because I want to enjoy life. But if you truly want to enjoy life, then you need to take care of your body so that you can enjoy life. So switching out these healthy alternatives is not a bad thing, and most of the time you don't even know the difference. Again, I'll write a written blog about this later so that you can see all the information written down, and I'll post it via Facebook. And if you have any questions, please post below. I'm not by any means an expert. I'm just sharing with you the knowledge that I've gained and the things that I know, hoping that I can teach you guys some things. Have a great evening, and we'll talk to you soon.